Welcome to Eye on America. I'm Michelle Miller. Today we meet a diverse group of women making change and fostering community in their own distinct ways. In New York, we speak to members of a worldwide movement calling to ordain women priests in the Catholic Church. And later, we sit down with iconic Muppet Miss Piggy to celebrate her decades-long career as an A-list star. But we begin in Alabama, where a recently deceased genealogist's legacy has impacted thousands of families. Frazine Taylor made it her life's work to help African Americans piece together their often fractured ancestral histories. Special correspondent James Brown pays tribute to this incredible woman and her work.
It may seem like a blur of information.
That index may be what I want.
But if you know what you're looking for, like genealogist Frazine Taylor, small clues quickly reveal the story of a real person.
I used to like detective stories. That's what family history is. You having a little piece of here and a little piece there.
For some Black Americans, they are pieces of a picture shattered by systemic racism. At Alabama State University, Taylor spent decades as an archivist sifting through records where humans are identified only by numbers. Names are misspelled, and racially segregated records leave holes in family trees.
How important is it for particularly young people that they know their history?
Self-worth, that's important. I can sit here and tell you about my family all the way down to some parts of slavery, and I feel proud of that.
In the decades after the Civil War, Black Americans owned an estimated 16 million acres of land. But by the turn of the century, 90% of that had been lost or stolen, amounting to a near $326 billion loss in wealth.
Will we ever know the full extent of enslaved people and their involvement?
Well, no, we won't. No, we won't. Because the records are not there.
I have that one.
For Josephine Bowling McCall, Taylor helped uncover the truth about her father's life and death.
In doing family history, we start with ourselves and work backwards.
Elmore Bowling was lynched in 1947 when McCall was just 5 years old.
Some people were lynched for merely crossing the street in front of a white person. My father was lynched because he was doing good. He had not committed a crime. They wanted to cut him down because he was making the wrong example for blacks in the community.
And that wrong example was?
Achievement and helping others to achieve.
How long did you stay mad?
I've never been mad.
How would you describe it, Miss McCall?
Hurt. Hurt.
When we spoke, Taylor was partially retired and undergoing chemo, but her passion for teaching was untouched.
Talk to the oldest person in your family.
Up until her death, she continued to encourage the next generation to keep looking at the past, sharing her knowledge with archivist Kashonda Murphy.
The past is important because it gives us insight into the future. If you don't know where you're from, you don't know what's ahead of you.
You've encouraged that we do that even if it makes us mad.
It will make you mad. It'll make you where you do not want to do any more research, but who's going to do it? And document it so that that grandkid or that kid can be proud of their family. Not what happened to, but because of who they were.
And we can all be proud of who Frazine Taylor was.
We turn now to California, where one bookstore is fighting back against the national rise in book bans by shipping LGBTQ literature throughout the country for free. CBS News Bay Area's Ite Had speaks with the store's manager, who is spearheading the effort.
Step inside Fabulosa Books in San Francisco's Castro District, and you're immediately greeted by what's known as the Big Gay Wall.
I've seen people's jaws drop when they first see this wall.
Becca Robbins is the bookstore's event manager. She says the shelves overflowing with LGBTQ books recently sparked a novel idea. Did you expect the kind of reaction that you got?
Oh my God, no.
When a number of states started banning LGBTQ books, Robbins decided to turn the page on censorship, shipping many of those very same titles to the places that prohibit them for free.
I can't go to these meetings. I can't pass legislation. What I can do is send books.
Her program, called Books Not Bans, allows customers to buy the books that she boxes up and sends to queer organizations in places like Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Florida. Her books have been welcomed by people like Patton Furman, the principal and superintendent of Magic City Acceptance Academy, the only LGBTQ affirming school in Alabama.
Seeing themselves in the characters of a book, and they can browse a variety of things, that's really meaningful to them.
These days, Robin's grassroots campaign, which ironically operates out of the store's closet, is getting love from all over the world.
You want that one?
Londoner Catherine Hennigan made a point to stop by the store.
For me, when I was at school, there were no sort of books available to, I guess, read about being LGBT.
For Robbins, it's a concrete way to bring about change.
If you can't imagine a better world, you can't build it.
And she's determined to spread the word against censorship, one book at a time.
Coming up, inside a grassroots movement calling for women priests in the Catholic Church. This is Eye on America. Welcome back. For nearly 2,000 years, the Roman Catholic Church has barred women from being priests. But that hasn't stopped a growing movement calling for the church to revise that strictly held policy. Lisa Ling introduces us to a group of women ordained as priests and leading masses, despite breaking with the Vatican.
For hundreds of years, this has been the exclusive body at the helm of the Catholic Church: men. But inside this warehouse-looking building in upstate New York, I am standing on the shoulders. Rebels are convening. And they want change.
Change begins by somebody doing it.
You are holy. This is the Upper Room, described as an inclusive Catholic community led by congregants and a woman priest, Reverend Mary Teresa Streck.
Continue to share the good news. People are looking for what we're offering, and they want to see ordained women celebrating Mass.
Mary Magdalene's.
At today's church service, the sermon is delivered by Bishop Bridget Mary Meehan.
And inspires us to create a renewed model of church.
Both women are part of the Association of Roman Catholic Women Priests, a worldwide movement to ordain Catholic women. Around 64% of U.S. Catholics support the idea of women priests.
Why the pushback from the institution, from the Vatican?
I think they're afraid of change.
The Roman Catholic Church does not allow women to be ordained, arguing in part that clergy should be unmarried men in the image of Jesus and his 12 disciples.
Your spirit moves through the love within us.
These women disagree and have formed a resistance.
There are other Christian denominations that allow women clergy. Why remain part of a faith where you are considered illegitimate?
Because it's in my bones. I am a Roman Catholic.
Like many organized religions in the 21st century, Catholic Church membership is declining, many citing the way the Church has dealt with sexual abuse claims involving priests and how it's historically handled divorce, the queer community, and women.
So did you leave the Catholic Church for a while?
I think the Catholic Church left me.
That is a sentiment echoed by most members of the Upper Room. For many here, 2010 marked a turning point with their Catholic faith, after the Vatican listed ordaining women as a grave offense, alongside pedophilia.
Would you say that these women priests brought you back to Catholicism?
Oh, most certainly they did. We are the Catholic Church here too, so we're not apart from them.
The Catholic Women Priest movement began back in 2002, when 7 women were ordained on the Danube River in Germany. The Vatican excommunicated all known to be involved, and all those who have come after.
Our response was, we do not accept this excommunication. We're leading the church we love into a renewed model of priestly ministry to respond to the needs of Catholics all over the world.
Both Bridget Mary and Mary Teresa are former nuns, raised devout and proud Catholics.
By the time I was in third grade, I wanted to be a nun. I knew in third grade.
At just 17 years old, Mary Teresa says she was called to become a nun. Until 18 years later, another call came.
I met a young priest.
Love.
I knew that I loved him dearly, and he loved me dearly. So we both resigned.
And your faith never wavered.
Oh, no, I think it was stronger than ever. We were actually married right within the public housing project, where we ministered for many years.
But after Jay died of cancer, Mary Teresa began to explore a new call, the Catholic priesthood.
Did you know you'd be excommunicated by becoming ordained?
When I first spoke with Bridget Mary, the very first call, the first thing that she said to me is, if you do this, you will be excommunicated. And I said, okay, well, that doesn't mean anything, really, because I will continue doing everything that I'm doing.
In 2013, hundreds were in attendance as Bridget Mary ordained Mary Teresa in Albany, a first in the area.
Since 2013, we have 10 women who have been ordained. I think people are saying, I'm not going to wait for the church to decide it's okay.
Around 300 women worldwide have now been ordained within the larger movement. Mary Teresa and Bridget Mary, who both have doctorate degrees in ministry, created a process and seminary curriculum for ordination in the U.S.
Do you think that you will live to see women priests accepted in the Roman Catholic Church?
Probably not, but that's not a good reason not to do it.
Earlier this year, in a rare interview, the Pope addressed the issue of women clergy with CBS News' Nora O'Donnell.
For a little girl growing up Catholic today, will she ever have the opportunity to be a deacon and participate as a clergy member in the church?
No. Take and eat. This is my very self.
But these women say that won't stop them. They hope they're laying the groundwork for future generations of women priests.
If you had an opportunity to have an audience with the Pope and those in the Vatican, what would you say to them?
Do not be afraid of us. We have a lot to offer.
We spent our whole lives just creating a church where there's more justice, more equality, and that everyone is so welcome at the table of God's love.
Sounds very Jesus-like.
Ahead, a fashion icon, movie star, and iconic Muppet marks a major Hollywood milestone. That story is next. We close our show celebrating a one-of-a-kind star. Miss Piggy is one of Jim Henson's most well-known and beloved Muppet creations. Her brash personality and flashy style have made her a feminist icon to generations of women. And this year marks the 50th anniversary of her television debut. To honor this momentous occasion, I sat down with some of the expert artists and performers behind Miss Piggy, as well as the diva herself.
Miss Piggy!
For half a century, Miss Piggy has acted,
So sorry if I kept you waiting.
sung,
Off with the cart with the home packed in it.
and karate chopped her way to the very top of Hollywood's A-list. But don't tell her that.
50 years is a long time to stay on top in Hollywood.
50 years? Whoa! You need to check your numbers. Seriously, I am an expert when it comes to dates. Moi is not a day over 25.
There is nothing to be self-conscious about when it comes to our age.
Our age?
Our age. You and I.
Age. Oh, so you are 25 as well. That's
Plus-
where the 25 plus 25 comes in. You were talking about our age together. Yes, oh, I see now. Now it all makes sense. Yes, we are 50.
Still, there's no denying her debut. A 1974 invitation from Johnny Carson to appear on The Tonight Show.
Oh, black magic has me in a story. Oh, black magic that you weave so well.
Were you nervous?
What? What? Nervous?
Yes.
You must have me confused with somebody else. I am a consummate professional.
So you knew you were gonna make it big, leave your mark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
That breakout didn't come for another 2 years when she joined Jim Henson's Felt and Foam Misfits with the premiere of The Muppet Show.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the light.
First on ITV, broadcast in the United Kingdom, and then later on CBS.
Oh, Scooter, my dear impressionable young lad.
An original unlike any other, and all a credit to the men and women behind the pig.
She's had a nose job.
She's had we call it a snout job.
Starting with Bonnie Erickson, famed costume maker, puppet designer, and Miss Piggy co-creator.
Jim came to me one day and said, I need 3 pigs.
3?
Yeah. And I think he came to me because he knew I came from Minnesota, the Midwest. I ought to know pigs.
Pigs, having fun.
Almost everything we did for Jim was a collaboration. I think I gave life to the pig. Frank Oz gave her a purpose. Jerry Jewell gave her words. Mike Frith gave her exposure. Callista Hendrickson and Polly Smith gave her glamour and class. And now Eric Jacobson is giving her a future.
I'm not here for you, Kermit. I'm here.
How do you physically prep that voice?
I'll just kind of like, try and clear out my voice, my throat. Oh, that's good. I bet you got a little Miss Piggy in you.
I think I do.
Yeah.
Come on, keep it up, Maurice.
Keeping Piggy current has been Eric Jacobson's joy since taking over her reins from Frank Oz in 2001.
I didn't really seriously get into puppetry until college when Jim Henson passed away, and that kind of set me on a new course. I just knew that I had to do something to help continue this man's legacy.
What's your favorite part of it, of playing her?
Well, she's the kind of character that any actor would love to play. She's this jumble of contradictions. She can be very strong.
I want you out!
She can also just project strength to cover up all these insecurities that she has inside.
A jumble of contradictions, maybe, but always and forevermore a diehard fashionista.
I've always dreamed of being a holiday model.
What is your fashion philosophy then?
Well, Coco Chanel used to say that one should look in the mirror before leaving the house and take off one accessory.
One.
With all due respect, Coco was cuckoo. I believe the opposite is true. More is more. You can't be a fashion icon if no one is looking at you.
The icon.
Curator Barbara Miller kept that in mind when organizing the Jim Henson exhibition at the Museum of the Moving Image. She's center stage, no less, and in her wedding gown. Or was it just a costume?
Was Miss Piggy actually a bride?
It's hard to say. I don't know. Was it a dream sequence? Was it real? Did it really happen? She says it does. Kermit said it didn't.
Hello, Piggy.
As in Kermit the Frog, her forever would-be groom, on-again, off-again beau, and leader of the Muppet crew.
Kermit is the center of gravity that holds all these sort of crazy people together. And, Miss Piggy is the force of nature that just is constantly kicking up dust and kicking up sand and kind of keeping Kermit on his toes.
I am woman. I am strong.
A force of nature who's also a feminist icon.
She kind of represented something that wasn't typically seen on television, a kind of character that maybe was a little bit too edgy, too assertive for human women to be able to go out there and be.
So clearly bombastic.
Yes, very sure of herself. It would never occur to her that she wouldn't be right.
She was born in the mid-1970s.
She was born to free us all.
Go for it.
That's still in the works, but she's proud to do what she can.
How does it feel to be such an inspiration to so many women and girls? I mean, you are a pig after all.
I try to be an inspiration to everyone, but it is especially heartwarming when a young girl tells moi how much moi means to them.
Is the best yet to come, Miss Piggy?
Of course it is. Like Kermit likes to say in that song, life's like a movie, write your own ending.
Keep believing, keep pretending.
Kermit may have sung it, but Miss Piggy is showing us all how to write our own ending with style and strength.
For more stories like these and live coverage of breaking news, stream us right here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Michelle Miller. Thank you for watching Eye on America.